Uplifting Momentum, the new template of abundance. Hey, you guys, this is your June 2025 energy update. And I'm Alysa Rushton, and this energy update has landed here just for you. So take a breath. If you are a starseed, an intuitive, a coach, a healer, a light leader, this energy update is just for you. This is not a collective reading, although I will touch on some collective themes here. But this energy update is really designed for you so that you can see the energies and the frequencies that you're here to really work with and move through this month of June. And I love this energy already in June, although we're going to have a lot of things come forward. So it's one of those times when you really do have to pick what side of the energy you're going to be on. So if this is your first energy update with me here, definitely pop a comment below, say hi. Let me welcome you to this ever-growing community of light leaders and light workers like you who are here to change the planet. You're here to bring in the new earth. And if you always come by for these energy updates, definitely pop a comment. Let me say hi. And I just want to thank you so much for being here at this pivotal time here on the planet. So as always, take a moment to tune in and tune into the numbers between this week, between 1 and 7. I think there's going to be 7 energies for you this week. So take a moment between 1 and 7 and see which energy or energies that you most resonate with. Pop it in the comments below. I love to see what you're attuning to. I love to see what you're resonating with. So take a beat, take a minute, check in, see what energies are yours for this month, and let's dive in. Also, I want to mention that I'm doing these energy updates a little bit differently, and I'm including new earth actions because I really do believe that we are here to bring in the new earth. And so I'm including after every energy a little new earth action that you can take. And this first energy of June is they showed me a breaking open of the shell, and they showed me a little shell cracking and then this beautiful bird coming out of the shell. And when I look at the energy of that, what it really means is that what feels like it's cracking in the 3D earth and the old world is cracking. It's literally cracking open to birth something more real and something more true. We have been cut off from ourselves as divine in physical form for as long as anybody on this planet can remember. And so in June, we start this cycle. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I've been talking about what's coming for a while. So this cycle is a planetary alignment. It's a sequence of events that's coming through in order to crack us open and crack more people open to be reborn into the truth of this earth, our history, and really why we're here on planet Earth. So you're going to see a tremendous amount of things come out. For example, you're going to see new evidence that Earth actually has a heartbeat. You're going to see new evidence that we are not alone in this galaxy. You're going to see new evidence that, the stories that we've all been told about creation, largely missing a lot of data. So you're going to see all of that start to come forward. And so as these things break down, it can feel like a cracking and a crumbling, but really, if you lock into this frequency, things are cracking open for the new to be born. I think that'll really serve you well. One of the things about these pivotal times that we are here to experience on the planet, and make no mistake, you chose to be here at this time to be a part of the shift, not to witness it, not to watch it, but to be a part of it, a part of creating this new. So you want to start to be thinking about what new things do I want to create? For me personally, I'm in the process of setting up something called a New Earth Coalition, which is a series of meetings for businesses to talk about what changes do we want to make and how do we influence that? How do we implement those things? How do we drive new sources of health-based tourism? How do we drive new sources of healthy products in our grocery stores? How do we say no to some of these old energies and put our business heft behind it? How do we form together as businesses and say, actually, no, here's what we're a stand for now? So this cracking open to be reborn and renewed is something that's very real on the collective, but it's also happening within each of us. So you might be feeling as if you're being cracked open in some sense. I've heard a lot of leaders like you talk about having some health issues. And what for me that feels like is a guidance to really go inward and ask, what do I need now? What was true for me then maybe isn't true for me now. And you're being asked to really look at your life in multiple ways, and your health, and your environment, and things you're contributing to, and ask, am I contributing to creating the new, or am I still stuck in this program of the old? So here's a new earth action for you. You want to take a look at what thing that you've been doing that you can let go of. What is it that's an outdated habit or program? One of the things that I think for the entire planet would be amazing is to remember that our energy, our intention, and our coding that comes out of our body is affecting everything. And if you've taken any of my classes or courses, you know I talk a lot about this with the divine DNA repatterning, that it all is a code that's generating from within us that goes outside of us. And so what that really means, though, is that the more intentional you are and the more intentional creating you are in alignment with divine source energy, the better outcomes you actually have. So one of the things that you could choose to let go of is unintentional creation. Being in your day where you're just like doing the task versus really being in the task. For example, even brushing your teeth or taking a shower. Most of us just do those habits on autopilot, where instead you could be in the shower and ask the frequency to uplift your entire frequency and cleanse you and clear you and supercharge your physical body and your energy body with the frequency of instantaneous healing or love. Okay, so really working with the fact that we can imprint actual subatomic particles that are in the air and the water. They're the most easily imprintable with your consciousness. So think about this month. What's one thing that you could stop doing that would actually help contribute you into this new earth? Energy number 2 is uplifting momentum. And this energy, I just love. It feels like a lot of momentum energy. In Hawaii, we just had this massive eruption that was lava 1,000 feet into the air, and it was all this new earth frequency momentum. And you're getting this rush forward of momentum energy. You're getting some planetary shifts to give you more momentum, more juice for that which you want. And I'm seeing this for many of you. You're being called into momentum with your businesses. You're having now this soul urge to do all the things, right? Create the content, go be of service, go find ways to give, and be in the frequency of this new version of you. You're in this massive momentum that's coming forward. And you're being really pushed to create new structures, new alignments, new ways of being in your community. Again, you want to take a look at how you can do that. Ask yourself questions like, what does my community actually need that I could provide or facilitate? Maybe it's just a gathering of friends or new friends. You know, more and more people are awakening. They're coming online to the fact that, oh my gosh, there's way more to this planet than I had ever imagined. And my intuitive gifts are coming online, and I'm having psychic dreams. So the more you are in your authenticity, in your truth, in that frequency of being uplifted into the momentum and being an example of that, the more you can be of service to other people. Getting out of the old frequency of people will think that's weird and I'm not, who am I to talk about that stuff? And instead into the frequency of, no, the earth is actually changing. This is what I came for, and I am here to help support and facilitate the change. Now, along with this momentum, I do think you're going to see this month eruptions. with all of this momentum. It's fast moving energy, explosive energy, volcanic energy. And we've been having this for a while, but I actually think the earth is going to give it to us a little bit more. So I think on a collective scale, you'll see more of this eruptive energy. And so whenever we have eruptive energy, you also want to be really mindful not to engage in eruptive battles with people. Instead, you can just be a stand for the energy frequency that you're holding of New Earth. And you can be a stand for the energy of, hey, things are really changing. Now we get to choose, do things change for the negative or do things change for the positive? We always have two choices we can make on the timelines, and your energy is actively going into creating and collapsing timelines. Let me say that again. Your energy is actively going into creating and collapsing timelines. So remember that the more you are into any sort of doomsday stuff or things not working out, that's energy going to creating that timeline and collapsing New Earth timeline. You literally get to choose which timeline you are on. You literally get to pull or put your energy into that which you want to create. And now is a beautiful time to just do that, like your life depends on it almost, because the more people we have energizing this new frequency, the more it shifts the timeline for the collective. Remember that we're always on this sort of balancing scale. And so just as in, if you had guests over at your house and there was a really angry person, but everybody else is feeling very happy, it's going to tip that person over. It's going to tip that person into having a joyful time. Versus if you had most of the people at your house be angry, it would tip even the most joyful person into anger mode. So you get to decide where you want to shift your frequency and where you can lock in and truly hold something that's new, something that you're creating. Here's your New Earth action. What's one thing that you could start doing? Are you going to form a group? Are you going to start inviting friends over for breakfast? Like, let's say that you just cooked a batch of porridge, or you made some acai bowls and you invited 4 friends over to enjoy this nourishing food, and you blessed the food and you talked about that which you wanted to create. The most simple actions like that are helping form new communities are going to be so important and so fortifying for you as you're on this awakening and expansion journey. The next energy, number 3, is 5D vibrational values rising. So we have been in a time and space where 3D values of success at any cost, domination at any cost, and control at any cost have been the most common frequencies on our planet. And they have been completely cut off from the heart. It's all about the head. It's all about winning, competition, power. How much can I get? And now you're having 5D vibrational values start to be on the rise. This means success looks very different. It feels very different. It's based on heart openness. It's based on soul satisfaction. It's based on a true abundance, which has nothing to do with your bank account. And actually, it's a frequency that you run, that everything that you need is given to you as or before you need it in abundant amounts. Okay, so we are having this big shift of 5D vibrational values, which also means that people, even the ones that you don't suspect, the ones, they're still watching commercials on TV. Okay, those folks are feeling, seeing, sensing frequency. They're even having conversations about it now, if you can believe it. And so it's a frequency first. People are seeing, feeling, sensing frequency, and they're feeling something's really off kilter or unkilter. So one of the things that you can do in your own energy system with this is really take time every day to attune your frequency, first and foremost to your heart, because people feel your heart, and your heart through the law of thought transference and mirror neurons, you actually transmit a feeling of confidence or not confidence to people. You actually transmit this whole entire frequency set. And so you are the one who's in charge of that. You are the one who gets to manage that. One of the things I teach in the Divine Light Energy Healers Academy and some of my other groups is to be a vessel for divine light energy to run in and through your body. And I like to say, divine light energy, thank you for using me as a vessel. Run through my hands, my heart, my voice, my eyes. Let everything around me be felt and seen and known as the divine. So when you do this, you're working in collaboration with the energy fields, which, is difficult because we can't necessarily see it and feel it, but it is there at the subatomic particle level. And you get to direct this energy to where you'd like it to go. And you get to be a channel and a conduit and a vehicle, a vessel for bringing through this divine light energy in and through your body. And I can tell you personally, when you do this on the daily, your frequency changes, your vibration changes, who you attract and what you attract into your world actually changes as well. So here's your new earth action. Think about something this week that you might react to. Okay. And instead, you're going to react as if you are God in a body, as if you are divine in a body. So not from the ego self at all, but from divine source energy, just channeling through you. When you practice doing this, you're going to love it. And you're probably already doing this. You're probably already using your body as a conduit for divine source energy. But this week, a new earth action is to do it even more and be even more intentional about when and how you're doing it. Let's talk about energy number 4, and this is frequency sovereignty. And so, this has been something actually the last tail end of May it started. And so no matter what is going on in the outside world or even in your world, you're being given situations and circumstances to hold your frequency no matter what. Okay. Now that's not as easy as it sounds. When someone in your world is behaving in a way that is triggering, or maybe your health is behaving in a way that's triggering you. Or maybe it's your finances are behaving in a way that's triggering you. Or maybe something's happening in the outside world. You're being asked to hold your frequency. New earth frequencies are those of unconditional love, non-judgmental compassion, infinite abundance, instantaneous healing. These are new earth frequencies. Now, we're not steeped in those. We're learning how to hold those. We know how to hold the old frequencies of scarcity, fear, and lack, and doubt, and all that other stuff, frustration. Oh my gosh, we know how to do that. So you're learning now how to hold something different. So instead of frustration, what is it that you hold? You hold openness and possibilities. Instead of lack and scarcity, what do you hold? The frequency of instantaneous, infinite abundance coming down on you and flowing into your life. Instead of feeling scared about not healing, what do? You hold the frequency of instantaneous healing. So it takes a little practice to work with these energies, and you might be given some situations and circumstances to work through this and hold it. It's your muscle building class. This is where you go get into the gym and you're building your muscles, okay? But here's the thing. Do not let your outer world sway you. One of the tools that I use is I just tell myself, this outside world, it's not really all that real. It's a video game. It's a simulation. I'm learning how to do this stuff. I'm teaching myself that. And so I'm not going to take my movie so seriously. I'm going to instead attune myself in here and let the outer world catch up. Okay, so you create your reality from the inside, and we also create it collectively too. It's like 8 billion people projecting on the movie screen. So one of the things that you want to be mindful of is in those situations and circumstances that are trying to pull you into the old frequency, how can you be over here instead? One of the best tips I can give you is acknowledge the frequency, whatever it is: frustration, fear, doubt, lack, limitation, doesn't matter. Just look at it and say, hi, I see you. I see you. I know how to run that frequency. Thank you so much for being here. And guess what? I am actually working on something really different. And I instead am going to work on holding the frequency of instantaneous healing, or infinite abundance, or joy and peace and ease, no matter what. So you can be here all you want, but I'm actually teaching myself how to run new neurological pathways in my brain that haven't been available to me before. And it is a practice. It is a process. Whenever we're unlearning how to do something, for example, I used to be a 2-pack-a-day cigarette smoker, if you can believe it. When I quit, it's not like I was just all of a sudden not going to have cigarette cravings. Of course, I'm going to have cravings for something that I'm addicted to. And we get like that through fear, scarcity, lack, doubt, limitation. We've been neurologically conditioned to be addicted to those thought patterns. And so now is our chance to be like, okay, thank you, little addiction. I see you there. And I'm choosing to do something different. Just like me, when I was quitting smoking, I had to choose. Okay, here's this craving coming up, and I'm going to choose to do something different. I'm going to chew on a cinnamon stick. I'm going to go for a walk. Whatever it is, I'm not going to smoke a cigarette. So for you, when you're having those thoughts, those frequency, fears, feelings, energies come in, you've got to acknowledge it and then tell it, okay, I hear you, I see you, and I'm going to do whatever I can to actually direct my thoughts someplace different, direct my feelings someplace different. I call this flinking. It's your feeling and thinking is going right out into the universe. You're flinking it in. And this is not about spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypassing would be pretending you don't have that feeling at all. Instead, you're going to acknowledge the feeling. You're going to say, yes, I see you there. I get it. I get that you want me to run this old program, and I am not doing it. Now, here's the rub. The more you process those old feelings, you're actually keeping yourself stuck there. You're actually keeping your body feeling that this is an appropriate way to feel. So at some point, with the cigarette analogy, okay, I could be a cigarette addict, and I could say to myself, well, I'm having a craving for a cigarette. And then I could process it. Well, why am I having this craving? Well, what am I feeling? Where did it start? Okay, I could go through all that. And odds are, if I did all that, I'm going to feel like smoking more than ever. Instead, I can simply say, I'm having a craving for a cigarette. This is an old addiction, and I'm going to shift myself into something different. I'm going to shift it and start to override this neurological addiction. And feeling these lower frequencies, make no mistake, is an addiction. We are hardwired into doing these, just like an addict is hardwired into wanting to smoke the cigarette. So it is a bit of breaking yourself free from the cycle and being okay with knowing that you are overriding something. So here's a new earth action. You can simply just set and say in your energy field, nothing pulls me off my frequency. No outside action gets to pull me out of my frequency. I am energetically sovereign, and I set myself each and every day, and I take moments during the day to reset myself. Nothing pulls me off my frequency. I remain here. Energy number 5, the new template of abundance. Oh, I love this one. And there's some work to be done here with the new template of abundance. So let's dive into this a little bit more. So in the past, think the past 4,000 years, how have we gone about getting money? Well, we work for the coins, okay? We work for the abundance. And the program is to work really hard for those coins. The program is potentially to steal those coins. The program is of coins at any cost, okay? And even if it means poisoning people, killing people, doesn't really matter, just get the coins. That's the old frequency. So the new frequency of abundance is really about something different. And this frequency actually requires you to work with your energetic system first and foremost to be working in direct alignment with creator source energy, divine source energy, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it doesn't really matter. But the old energy was completely cut off from source. And there was a fear around it, a fear of not having enough, not being able to store enough, and all that good stuff. So, what we want to do instead is we want to start creating in alignment with Source. Source nourishes us. Source gives us everything we have and then some. And part of this really is taking off the belief that we're separate from anything that we need, and installing the belief that we actually, it's just an extension of you. Like, you don't stop at your physical body where your eyes stop. You're directing energy and consciousness in and through your hands. And again, this is what we teach inside the Divine Light Energy Healers Academy, is that you are connected to everything. And oneness isn't just about being one with people. Oneness is you are one with all things, all frequencies, your computer, your plastic stuff, even your glassware, your electronics. You are one with all things, and your consciousness imprints itself into all things. And so this frequency of abundance really wants to shift, and it wants to shift into you being supported, you being fortified, you having everything that you're here to have and experience. Now, with that comes a lot of dismantling old energies, specifically from your genetic lines. This is not necessarily soul level trauma. This is genetic level trauma. So a lot of you are having this genetic level trauma coming up where your parents could never make it work, or your parents could never make it happen, or there was a situation in your lineage, your direct genetic line, where now your role is to heal through that and overcome it and overturn it into something new. I can't emphasize this enough. The reason why you agreed to be here on planet at this time of some hardship is to rewrite code, is to rewrite what's acceptable as human beings, is to rewrite the frequency. Okay, so this requires tenacity. It requires standing up to these old energies and saying, no, we're not doing that anymore. And I'm here to really do something different in my body, in my frequency, in my flinks, in my thoughts and feelings, what I'm flinking in my feelings and thoughts. I'm going to flink differently about life, about how I'm supported, about how I'm being guided, about my ability to actually receive, and my ability to tune in and listen so deeply. And when you are tuned in, you cannot stop abundance. When you are tuned in, you'll be at the right place at the right time, doing the right things. And that is how it works. Okay. So you don't have to worry about not being supported, because when you're tapped in and tuned in, all of the right things will be happening to you because you were listening. You did the thing that you needed to do in order to be at the place where they were going to give you the whatevers, okay? The free stuff, or the check, or the money, or the house. You are tuned in. When you are tuned in and tapped in, you're following the soul's guidance. You're following the divine energy, versus the old way is to be completely cut off, stuck in the ego, relying on the thoughts only and not the hearts, right? We're just thinking instead of flinking. And when we're flinking, we're guided, we're led, we're accessing that divine energy that's constantly moving us in the directions of this joyful abundance. Yes, you still learn lessons, but you get to learn them from a beautiful way. You get to learn them from a higher alignment versus devastation and tragedy. And ultimately, you get to pick. You get to pick how you learn the lessons here on earth. And that is something that we are learning to do as individuals and as a collective. So a new earth action that you can do today is to shift from thinking about how can I make money and to shift into thinking, how do I get to align myself with the frequency of serving and receiving? How do I align myself energetically first as my very first action? Because it is frequency first. People feel your frequency. So, how do I energetically align myself first? And then, how do I serve and receive? Okay, I'm back. I had to take a quick little break and let's talk about energy number 6. Did you make it this far in the video? Oh my gosh, if you did, I'm celebrating you. Let me know, by the way, in the comments below if you made it this far in the video. So, number 6 is truth codes activating. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this frequency, you guys. This is amazing because, like it or not, we have not had a whole lot of truth on planet Earth for a whole lot of time. It's been a significant amount of time, thousands of years, that truth codes have not been activated, in the sense that people could tell you things and you would believe them. And the most of the people on Earth would not dig past what they were told. They would intake information and believe it. So why these truth codes are activating right now is because we're having more light come onto the planet and more people are being heart activated. And so when you are in your heart, you actually feel frequency first. So you feel misalignment. You feel the false attunement, and you can know instantly if somebody's telling you the truth or if they're not telling you the truth. You can sense the subtle nuances. And so this is truly amazing because we haven't actually had this in the past. It's been very easy for someone to just stand before you and lie to you, and you would just, your mind, your logical mind would just intake it. So what's really cool about this is that when we're attuned to our hearts, we will also know the truth. It'll come through in different ways. We'll start to feel, sense, understand truth in different ways. We will start to open up our capacity to receive the truth. Now, what they're showing me is a lot of people on the planet right now who are trying to double down on their current belief sets. And I call it a belief set because beliefs are nothing more than things that you believe. Oftentimes they are not true at all. Okay, they're just things that you believe. And so in this case, they're showing me there's quite a few people who are doubling down on that. So if you are here as a person who's here to help with this truth coding coming through, there's a couple of things that you'll want to know about this. Is that anytime you're dealing with a person who is trying to double down on their belief, that the more you try to force them into seeing it your way, it's just going to force them even more to doubling down on believing the way they do. So if you're here to bring forward truths, really working through curiosity and understanding what they believe, why they believe, and then inviting them into a conversation with you through heart openness. Are you open to thinking about this differently? Are you open to looking at this differently? Are you open to reviewing different information about this that's coming forward? And if they're not, that's okay. And you don't have to push anything. The truth will come out. More and more truths are coming out all the time. But this one, I wanted to bring forward for you because I know that a lot of you are being pinged with messages about your truths. And at times it might feel difficult to bring that forward. So one of the best things I can encourage you to do is just to speak about it, and to not need to change anybody or shift anybody. Just allow yourself to be in the resonance of that truth. Also remembering that there's not one static truth. You know, we've got 8 billion different realities here on planet Earth. And so just giving yourself permission to speak about and talk about the things that light you up without much of a filter. And the people who will resonate with that will come to you, and the people who won't resonate that will repel from you. And that's really okay. And also at the same time, holding a space for people that when they're ready, that they can come through and come and hear your messages. On the collective level, anything that is false, or misaligned or has been based in an untruth as its foundation is getting exposed. And you're going to see that more and more and more and more over the next year and a half cycle. Is all coming out. It's all going to purge out, and we'll just have to finally see it. And it's in an attempt to get us to clean it up and do it really differently, because the amount of light that's hitting the planet right now will not allow what's been happening to move forward. It's going to completely just make it so that it doesn't advance. It used to be, let's take yourself back to 2017. There was so much energy even back in 2017 where misaligned stuff could really, it could move forward. Like it could be in its untruth. And you could be like, yeah, okay, this actually, that doesn't feel misaligned to me. It feels pretty good. But now in 2025, this year of our time, you're actually feeling the misalignment like never before. You're seeing, sensing, feeling all the things. And for you personally, I would imagine that there's no amount of anybody who could pull the wool over the resonance frequency. You actually feel resonance frequency, and you feel it in your heart, and you feel it in your body, and you know what truth feels like. Okay? You know what truth feels like in your body. You don't question what it feels like anymore because you've done so much work around this, and you have started to get truthful with yourself first and foremost. So you might be getting a great clearing in your own life to take a look at, where have I not been truthful with myself? Where have I been misaligned with myself? Where have I been saying I want one thing, but am I actually doing the actions of somebody else? They're showing me right now a woman business owner who really wants this new business, but yet she's not acting in alignment with the new business. She's acting in alignment with an old version of herself. So there's an old saying, to thine own self first be true. And what they're showing me is that all of this new earth comes as and through you first. We are literally changing it from the inside so that it can outpicture on the outside. So don't worry so much about what is on the outside of you, what the misalignment is out here. This month of June, you're going to want to dig in, and you're going to want to ask questions. What is aligned for me now? What feels true for me now? With all that I say that I want to create, am I truthfully acting in alignment with that? And here's a great 5D New Earth practice. I actually did this just this weekend. It was so much fun, is to cleanse your space and go through your space and ask the energy to uplift, close out or clear out any energy leaks, right? Go into the room that your energy drops the most and tune into the energy. Ask what wants to shift, ask what wants to change, ask what needs to be brought in. Clean out your energy field in your body. Ask what foods want to go and what foods want to come in. And you can do this in your home, in your body. This is such a powerful practice. I literally spent all hours of the night on Saturday night cleaning my house and feng shuiing. I put these beautiful codes underneath my doormat. I clipped my hedges of my front walk because even though they're beautiful and lush, they were kind of clogging up the energy. So it's a beautiful new earth practice to just ask, what wants to shift and change here? What can be cleaned and released from this space so that new energy frequencies that are more in alignment with my truth can come in? The last energy number 7, is a new chapter for humanity. And so if you think about this month of June as the new chapter that's getting started in the new book, okay, we are literally closing out the old and opening a new chapter. We're opening a new book, even a book about humanity that is tapped into our sacred origins, that is understanding that we're not just here, sparks of dust, disconnected from things. We are in communication with all things. Everything is divine source energy, and we are a part of that. And each and every person here on the planet has a little bit different DNA because we're a melting pot and we come from all across the galaxy. And so now is a beautiful time when our humanity is starting to remember the truth of who they are. We're starting to get exposed to other texts and other things that have always been here but have been hidden from us. And so we are literally starting a new chapter. In your own personal life, you might also be starting a very new chapter as well. They're showing me an image right now of a man packing his bags and like not even really knowing where he's going, but just going, this thing that I once had is not for me. I'm done with it. I'm going on my new chapter in my new life. And so, if you can think about June as that, what is the life that you'd love to create for yourself? What are the things that would be in the most alignment for you? What are you doing with your time? What does your business look like? What do your friends look like? What does your house look like? These are all questions that you're going to want to ask yourself in the month of June. And the thing about June is we have so much astrology switching around for new chapter energy that's going to set up a course not only for the next year, but really for the next 1,000 years to come. It starts this month in June. So this is your time to get yourself into alignment. Use this time between June and July and August to really move yourself in the direction you'd like to go, because by the time September hits, remember, one of those energies is this really fast momentum energy. By the time September hits, you are going to want to have all the things in place so that you can really ride the wave and catch it instead of get smashed by it. So don't let that scare you. Use this as fuel, as your rocket fuel to get yourself going. What are the things that you need? If there was a blast of energy here to take you on your highest pathway, what would you need to have in place in order to ride that wave beautifully? Just like here in Hawaii, when we've got the big waves, you actually need to take out a different surfing board. So what kind of board, so to speak, would you need in order to ride the waves of this beautiful acceleration and ascension journey? Okay, make sure to pop me your comments below. I love reading your comments. I read every single one personally and respond to everyone. And share this video, like it, subscribe it. It really helps me. It helps the channel, and it helps people to know that you are not alone. You are not alone on this new earth journey. You are not alone in wanting to change this earth and do it differently. I love you guys. Have the most beautiful month of June, and I'll see you in the next one.